we're listening to that. Oh my god, big tune. Lily, can you do me a favor and ring Maxwell? He's having problems getting onto the platform. So if you can get him on the platform and ring him, and we can kind of see if we can get the conversation started. He might have come in as a guest, but he's having problems. But he's here. I've just spoken to him while we were waiting. So let's kind of get rid of that and kind of get in to this. It would be good to get some interaction, like I said, while we're waiting for Maxwell to get on board. How many of you guys work constantly with music, or is music kind of a big feature in the content that you're making? Can I get a signal, a show of hands of you guys working with music, using music to emote your content, using it for kind of dramatic scenes, love scenes, and the like? Anybody? Is there anybody out there? You got to remember that I've got a screen that I can see that there's a number of people in sessions, but I can't see your faces, or so it's really helpful if you guys communicate with me so I know I'm not talking to myself. Yeah. Any takers? Very quiet out there. All right, no problem. Yes. Ask on the polls. Very good idea, Sham. So what kind of music? How are you using music? How do you use music in your? How do you use? Are we all feeling really shy? Music in your content. To remote, and I can't spell, so for pasting, give suggestions. All right, let's see how this goes. I'm going to do a poll, see if that makes it a little easier. Right, publish. And I apologize if there's any. Yes, if there's any. How are you guys using it? Are you using to remote, to pasting? Then give us some kind of. Also, tell us some stuff in the schedule thing as well. Yeah. Thank you, Sharon. I've got 3 answers. Thank you, Sharon. As we get Maxwell on that stage. Still not sure? Okay. How are we using? I find that music kind of paces. Obviously, I'm keen to talk to Maxwell about his career. And I thank you for your patience as we wait to get him on a stage. But it'd be helpful, like I said, to kind of understand what your intentions of coming to the session, what you want to get out of it. How are you currently using music? Please don't be shy. Get involved. We're kind of here together. It's a relatively small group, so you shouldn't feel embarrassed, unless I will start picking people. And like Sharon, I feel like your name might be next. No, I'm teasing you, but please get involved in the conversation. While we get Maxwell, how are we doing with Maxwell? Are we nearly there with Maxwell? I can't. Let me see what you're saying. I can't hear you. Say again. Let's see how you're getting on. Come on stage and let me know. Oh, she's talking to Maxwell right now. I can see her giving him ferocious instructions on how to get on board. So while we're waiting for Maxwell and you guys are deciding whether you want to answer my poll or not, I also wanted to kind of let you know, obviously, we've got the content fund that we've spoken about. There's a umpteen sessions. We've got an international networking session happening on Thursday afternoon. If you go on the schedule, you'll see that session is open for 4 hours. Don't worry, obviously, you're not expected to be there for 4 hours, but because we have people from LA and we've also got people from London and Europe, we wanted to give space to make sure that you can connect. What you'll find when you go to that session, it's in a fluid where you can kind of go up and talk to people. So you should be able to interact. And connect with people quite easily. Lily, if you can come back on stage for me and let me speak to Maxwell and get him on stage, that would be really helpful. Yeah, if you can come back on stage for me, that would be great. Thank you. Oh, she's left the event as well. All right. Technicals, both to emote and pacing. What is your favorite soundtrack to? Somebody give me their favorite soundtrack to a film. I remember watching. What is it? It's a cartoon with. It's the cartoon with the gentleman. Oh God, Monkey Paw. He did a black cartoon about, and the soundtrack was just insane to that film, and just the way it used emotion, and you kind of knew that it was slightly spiritual. You don't use music, but have had the fair deal about music, which is, what's the kind of big issue that you've usually had, Fatu, in terms of our music? and how to use music. Can I bring you on stage? And one of the questions that you're often asked, is that okay if I do that? Let me do that. I think that that's a really good question. So you don't use music, but you do have the odd inquiry about fair deal. I would like to know about fair deal because obviously in on socials we're often using music as well, and sometimes I have noticed that we've had problems where they've kind of removed our music or our copyright because we're not allowed to use it because they're saying that it's not fair deal. So in terms of music, what are some of the kind of queries that you've often had when it comes to using music, Fatu?
It's usually in the sporting context because if you see like montages where music is used, and people might want to try and use a quick 5-second clip of a music video and try and use it without clearing it, which is a definite no-no. But with fair dealing, there's specific ways where you can do that, where you've got to review and critique the music and the footage that you're using, which is quite tricky, and it's more of a legal jurisdiction than compliance. But it's just kind of interesting, so that's why I wanted to come on
this session. No, that's thank you. And I was going to say is, do you know if there are any rules or any kind of guidance about when people wanting to use music? What are the rules about using music, and particularly when you're using commercial music? Is there any advice that you could offer?
Well, I mean, it's copyright and it's PRS, where you obviously have to, log your music usage and clear it. But there are very, very, very rare circumstances where you may be able to
hold the fort
use music without clearing it, but it's really specific.
Okay, really specific. I'm going to find out what's going on. I'm a little concerned now. We're 20 minutes in. Obviously, this is a new platform we're using. I'm thinking that he's using his phone and having problems to log on during his phone. I'm wondering whether it's worth us breaking out into a kind of breakout room. Give me 2 seconds. Bear with us. Give me 2 seconds and let me find out what's happening. We also, you guys know, at 6:30, we also have a conversation with Marcus Ryder from the Film and TV charity, who was going to talk about kind of money and resources that the Film and TV charity has. He's off to find a laptop to do his property. So he's saying that he will be with us in about 5 or 10 minutes. I'm hoping that you guys are patient enough to wait. And Fatu, actually, your conversation, you're a compliance person. You deal with a lot of compliance, so you must be dealing with the issues around music quite a bit, right? You're saying like people you trying to use it, and you're saying like copyrights. What is the fair use policy? I'm never really quite clear about that. I never quite understand that. How much I'm allowed to use and how much I'm not allowed to use. Do you know anything about that? Oh, Fatu, I don't know. You seem to have disappeared. The gremlins are definitely out. Can you ask Maxwell how influencers are able to use commercial music, or does Instagram? We will definitely ask that when he joins, and you can ask him yourself. Fatu, we lost you. You were talking about music, and then I kind of got slightly distracted, and you were saying something.
I think I got disconnected for a minute there.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there is a limit to the duration that you can use within your program in terms of click rights. So I think it's something like 3 minutes or 30 seconds. I can't remember which way around it is. But you have to be able to review and critique, and you have to credit the copyright owner. So in terms of reviewing a music clip, it's not just about talking about this is the artist and this is how they're using the music. You've got to talk about it in a critical sense. So how does it emote? How does it create emotion? What's its impact? And then you have to credit the copyright owner, because we used to get stuck a bit in sports productions where sometimes the producers would try to use clips from music or recreate it without properly crediting the copyright owner. Which is why obviously we always encouraged the use of library music if we're not able to clear it.
And is that, I mean, do you know in terms of digital? I know you're a compliance officer, so and this is kind of your space. In terms of digital, are the rules the same? Do you know?
I would assume so. Yeah, because it's the copyright owner's work, and so they should be fairly compensated for the use of their work.
Because what was interesting when we were in conversation with David Cornwell earlier on about distribution, one of the things that he talked about is making sure that you, like you rightly say, have all of your music cleared properly. Because oftentimes it may peak as a problem when you're trying to sell it in different territories. So
Exactly.
really ensuring, is there any kind of advice? Sorry, not that I appreciate you being a lifesaver and stepping in while we were waiting for
That's
Max.
all right.
Yeah, really, I love you. I appreciate you. In terms of
I didn't want you sitting there talking to yourself into the abyss there.
I was speaking to a void, and everybody was kind of like not speaking to, but no, I appreciate you. In terms of kind of clearance, is there kind of steps or any guidance that you can offer in terms of how people have to go through clearing or making sure? And I know that this isn't necessarily your topic, or you wasn't prepared to speak about it, but any advice that you could offer would be wonderful. So if you've got a track that you want to use, what kind of steps should someone go through in terms of using that track?
I mean, you're right in saying it's not my area of expertise. And so if whatever I'm saying here, this would all need to be verified by a rights exec who will do all the clearances for you. And you will always need to make sure that the music that you're using can be used in all the jurisdictions where you want to distribute your music. And also for all platforms in which you're using it on. So whether it's linear or on social or on your YouTube channel, you need to clear it for all uses. But in terms of the steps that you need to go through, I would.
But you say but you were saying like talking to a musician, like there's like the specialists that kind of go in, the right specialists that will go in and kind of make sure that you've cleared it. And when you're kind of using music, is it important? I suppose just from what you're saying, it's probably important to think in production or when you're in the edit of what music that you're using. And I'm sure I'm teaching you guys how to suck eggs, but really thinking about, you might have rights to use it here, but it might cause problems in different territories. Is there any advice in where you can find out where the music's cleared? Is that kind of your music library will tell you where you can use the music? Do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be your music specialist, your music librarian, who'll be able to tell you where you can use it, and also where you can find similar music if you're not able to clear it, but where you can find similar music which will have the right clearances that you need.
Yeah. Okay, wonderful. Well, let me see if I can find out what's going on with Maxwell. I think we've got another couple of minutes. Are you guys all right to wait up? Lily, thank you, Saver. Between you and Fatu, you lot are amazing. Lily, tell me what's going on.
Hiding backstage. So, Maxwell is currently racing home to get to his laptop. He will be joining us as soon as possible. So as soon as he's here, we can get the ball rolling. It does mean that this session may move a little bit late. We may be pushing towards 6:30. But as long as you're happy, so am I. I mean, Simone and I aren't going anywhere. You don't have a choice.
We're not, so we'll stay here for a minute. Do you think it's worth, how long is he going to be, do you reckon? Is it worth going into the lounge and having smaller conversations in the lounge and then coming back in? Or should we stay here? How long do you reckon he's going to be?
He did not give me a time. I know he is trying his absolute best.
Yeah.
So it could be between now and 15 minutes away.
Shall we go into should we move into the lounge so we can sit round tables and have kind of smaller, intimate conversations? So I don't feel like I'm speaking to a void, and that those who can join us, I can do a loud announcement as soon as he's here, and then we can kind of reconvene back in here. Is that okay? Yeah. Let's see how
the best way to do that. If you waggle your mouse around on stage where we all are, at the top bar, you'll see a little back button. Press the back arrow. It will take you back to reception. Click on the lounge tab, and we'll see you in there. What I'm going to do is stay here for when Maxwell turns up, and I'll do the live announcement.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So everybody do your back button. I'm going to do that. When I did that, it asked me it's going to tell me to end session. Am I doing that? I'm just leaving the session. Do your back button. It'll ask if you want to leave the session, go to the main landing page and then go into lounge, and I'll see you guys in there in 2 minutes. Oh, thanks very much. And thank you for your understanding and patience.
trying to find myself to get to that. You know what it is? Of all the places I'm at, I'm in central London, and I can't find. I'm looking. I'm like, oh my god, of all the places to be at this time of day, literally going past Victoria now. Upset, man. I want to talk to the people there.
They want to talk to you.
I want to talk to them. They've got loads of questions. They need something. I want to know stuff. So I want to kind of help educate these people about this world that I'm in.
Yeah, and me, I'm so interested in it. And it's selfish of me to say, just talk to me, it's fine, let's have a chat.
You get all the information for yourself, innit? Like, just talk
Exactly.
to everyone. Yeah, cool, I get that.
Okay, Simone's coming on stage. Hi, Simone.
Hi.
Hi, Simone, can you hear me? Please tell me you can hear me. Can you hear me, Simone?
Hang on. I'm just sharing my screen.
Oh, hi, Simone.
Hey.
Hey, Simone.
Can you hear her?
I cannot hear her yet.
Oh,
hey, Simone, you talking back?
No, hang on. She just logged off. She's trying to come back.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh,
I'm here.
Can you hear me, though?
Maxwell, we've got you at last, King. How are you? Gosh, that was a little dramatic, wasn't it?
Simone, can you hear Maxwell?
I
Give me
can hear
thumbs
Maxwell.
up.
I cannot
You
see him, but I cannot hear him. Let
Give
me
me
hear.
thumbs up if I'm muted.
Yeah, give us a thumbs up, Simone. You can hear me.
Am I
She can
muted?
hear
I'm
you,
going to
perfect.
come out. I'm going to come out and come back
Okay.
in, yeah? Cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you hear Simone? Oh, she's just left again. Simone, come back.
No, because you said you couldn't hear me. So I went off to come back on to make sure you could hear me. We're back. Can you all hear? Can we all hear everybody?
Who? Oh, Simone couldn't hear me.
No, Simone can hear you. Can you hear Simone?
I can't hear Simone, but you can repeat the questions if there's any questions that are coming to me.
OMG. Technology.
I'm not listening, so I'm doing Bandulu, whatever it takes. And this guy's trying to stop messaging me.
No, but
All right,
you know
so
what?
people have come back.
Education.
Hear you now, Maxwell.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Cool.
We're going to try and do this the best way we can.
I'm sorry that.
Actually, Lily, since the Maxwell can hear you, Lily,
can't get me on the phone, so I can't go on it through my phone. So we are doing some real communication levels here. So if there's any questions for me, just tell Simone, and if you repeat it to me, and I'll happily answer any question for you guys. I'm really sorry I can't be there, actually see my physical face, but trust me, I want to be there with you guys right now. Hope everyone is okay. And yeah, what do you want to know?
Love it.
Okay, so can everyone hear me? Let's start. Everyone can hear. Okay, so everyone's saying they can hear everybody, so that's great. So what's happening is I've called Maxwell via my WhatsApp desktop, which is overriding this. So I'm trying to think.
What's up?
I'm trying to think.
I'm going to suggest.
And then just hold you to the speaker. That might
No. What I'm going to suggest, Lily, is that you speak to the Maxwell. I'm going to send you questions. Can you not hear me? Lily, can you hear me? Lily, can you hear me?
Trying to talk to me. She's
All right,
turned
hold
down.
on.
So okay, fine. It's better if you stay where you are, Maxwell. Simone is gonna Sharon just say Lily host the session. Simone's gonna send me questions, and I'm gonna host the session. I'm gonna be Simone.
Oh, bless you. Tell Simone I said thank you so much for this.
She can hear you. Just you can't hear her.
Oh, thank you, Simone. Thank you so much. She can hear me.
Okay, perfect.
Tell us about your journey into film. We all know you and respect you as a legendary DJ. How did you get to film?
I'm trying to hear her first. So Simone has asked, can you tell us about your journey? So how you went from Garage Star to moving into producing to then setting up the Bird Call. Tell us about that.
Yeah, right. So with the whole Bird Call situation, it's basically my best friend Ruwanga is the main co-founder. I'm a part of Bird Call, but I run the UK side of things, which is the head of operations and head of A&R over here. I'll get back into that in a second. So I'll quickly just tell you about my journey. I was raised and born in South London, and we moved to East London when I was about 8 8 to 9 years of age. So my dad stayed in South London, Peckham, and my mum moved to East London, Leighton. So between the both of them, I used to go back and forth to Peckham and Leighton most of my teenager life. My dad is a DJ, a well-known DJ in the reggae industry. He used to be on Choice FM. They used to do Kiss FM, WNK, and stuff like that. So I used to, as a young little nipper, I used to run around with my dad and play sound system with him, or go to Notting Hill Carnival. So I was kind of exposed to big crowds when I was really, really young. I'm talking like from the age of like 12. I was in, Notting Hill Carnival selecting records for my dad. And stuff like that, and following into radio stations. So I had a big love for music. What actually got me into the stage performances is that my dad used to go to the record shops, and we used to buy the tape. People might call them tape packs or CD packs back in the day, but they were actually stage show events recorded live in Jamaica. So that's what really kind of made me look at like the likes of old school Jamaican artists, such as Yellow Man, Ninja Man, Super Cat, and the name of the list goes on to Shabba Ranks and stuff like that. So that's what made me actually be like, oh gosh, I want to be like these guys. Simultaneously, you had what was going on in America with Diddy and all the shiny suits as well. But that come a little bit touch later. But just a little bit before then, there was a lot of Yahoo, MTV raps and stuff like that. So I was very influenced both Jamaicanly and American culture. So growing up, there was nothing in the UK at that time that I could really identify with until years down the line, which become music called, which is jungle music, which was drum and bass and ragga samples, like reggae samples. So that is what I could relate to as a young little kid. I was about 15. So because I was not really that, I was a little bit of a rebel, a little bit of a bad breed. I was always up to mischievous stuff, and so my mum, single parent, raising me. Me and my mum, my mum's only 15 years older than me, so I was like a little hardhead. I clashed, I saw a lot of things. I ended up getting kicked out, going to live with my dad in South London, going to school in South London, and that didn't really go so well. So I come back to live with my mum, and then I ended up in foster care. And I was fostered from the ages of like 14 to 16. And yeah, I ended up basically getting caught up in street life, gang activities, and by the time I reached 16, I was on the streets doing a whole lot of badness. And by the time I was 18, I got locked up in prison. I went to Feltham, and then I went to prison for armed robbery for 3 years, and then I come out in June 2020. No, I didn't. I come out June 99. 2020 lockdown.
I was about to say.
Come out, I would have known. That's just the other day. That's a long burn, Max. How did you do all that stuff? Yeah. So basically, I come out in June 99, and yeah, it was when I went into prison. It was all about drum and bass, jungle music, ragga samples. When I come out of prison, it was savage stuff. I'm trying to give you the shortest version ever. When I come out of prison, I was going to these garage raves, South London Coliseum, all of these little events, and I would be like, oh, the jungle stuff that I used to like to rave to and stuff like that. But what I missed out is that I had a group of friends that I used to go college with, that I went to college, and they were DJ Target from Radio BBC One Extra, MC Wiley, and a few others that you might know of from Pay As You Go, like Flow Dan and stuff like that from Roll Deep, etc. So these were my college mates. So they brought me to an area when I was 16, so before I went to prison. They brought me to an area in East London called Bow. I never knew about this area before. So I so happened to go to Bow, and they had a radio station in this area, Bow, called Rinse FM, which is now like a very global,
now massive, Rinse, everyone knows Rinse FM,
yeah, exactly. My jammer comes from there now. So this is the little station that I grew up as a little 16-year-old, going there with a guy that is actually a director now. You might know him as Nicky Slimthing. He's done The Intent with Femi from Kidulthood and Adulthood or whatever. Anyway, basically, sorry to drop names, but I'm trying to give you who these people are. Yeah. So Nicky was my DJ at that time, and we went to Bowl with our college mates, which was Wiley and Target, and they brought us a Rinse FM. And then from there, I used to go back and forth from Rinse FM, and that was like, these days were jungle days though. These were still the jungle days. So they were my college mates. Then I ended up in prison, and I come out of prison when I was 20, and I went back and linked up with my college mates, which was same people, which was Target, Wiley, and everything was about garage music, garage.
Yeah.
So that was the beginning of my garage journey. That's why I was trying to get you to that part so fast. Forgive me if I'm going fast, guys. I'm just trying to give you the short version of my life in a nutshell, but it's quite more long and complex than that, and I would talk more slower if it didn't happen like this. So let me breathe. Right. Okay. So now we're at the garage. How did I get to garage? This is how I got to garage music, through my college mates. So now as garage music started, I got quite popular in the drum and bass scene, but it got cut short because I went to prison. So when I come out, a few heads knew who I was. They knew I could MC on the jungle stuff really good. So my college mates were like, yo, you should, Wiley and that, you should jump on the garage. So we formed a crew called Ladies Hit Squad. On this Rinse FM station, there also was another crew on the station called Pay As You Go. This time, me, Wiley, and Target, we weren't Pay As You Go. We were just on the same station as them. Wiley then decides to make a beat, and his song, it was called No We, as you guys know it today, or anyone that's into garage music will know that was Pay As You Go, Cartel, our biggest anthem. He made this beat, and he's like, yo, Max, I want you to spit on this beat. I'm going to get a couple members from the Pay As You Go squad to spit on this beat, and that's how we become Pay As You Go all together.
That's great. And how did...
Sorry, someone tried to call me. But yeah, and that's how we become Pay As You Go, and that was the beginning of our journey. I think we had a good a year and a half reign into up and down the country, becoming a very popular crew. You had us, you had Heartless crew, you had Soul Solid crew. I'm also from South London, but Pay As You Go was mainly an East London crew, but I was like the only one that was from South and East. And yeah, we done really great. We started smashing up the underground. We started getting very, very popular up and down the whole of the country until we got a deal. We got signed to Sony. We went number 13 in the national charts. I think we sold 11. Yeah, we sold a lot in the first week. You know, I had other pairs like More Fire Crew and stuff like that were from my actual area that I lived in. And yeah, we got popular. We become famous. We broke out. There wasn't really much people doing it in those times. We was opening the doors. But the difference with our crew and everybody else's crew, we actually gave birth to this music that they call grime.
Yeah.
And the reason why we say we gave birth to it is because obviously they class my classmate, or I say my colleague, or Wiley, as the godfather of grime, right?
Yeah.
And obviously he was in Pay As You Go with us.
Yeah.
So that means we obviously gave birth to this music. So basically, I'm trying to say to you guys that when how grime come along was, I don't want to put myself and say it was because of my gangster lyrics that I had. Because I used to say a lot of stuff that I would say that was coming off the street, what I saw off the street. I come out of prison. I was the little thug of the crew. I was like the real Ja Rule, like the girls them sugar, but the bad boy at the same time. That was kind of my vibe and my image when I was coming out as my young 21.
And that's great. And it leads me really nicely onto a question that we've got from our attendees. So you at pretty much all your life, you've kind of been at the front. You've been like pushing the envelope, doing your own thing, and
absolutely,
and it's been and you've had and because of your talent and because your skill and because your dedication, it's become much bigger. It's become mainstream. And how did you, and where did your interest in like film, TV, and like content production?
Right.
When did that? Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you. So we're going to get to that part. So what's happened is everyone remembers MySpace, right?
Yeah.
MySpace. Yeah, remember Tom? Yeah, everyone remembers Tom. Yeah, Tom was he was big out here. Like anyway, so MySpace days coming. So I would say I had a lot of ups and downs in my career. As much as I rose to a lot of fame and success, I also had a lot of dips as well. I had just scandal. I had loads of stuff, which comes with that energy, also comes with a lot of karma and a lot of things anyway. So there was a point in my life where was my son born yet? No, my son, I wasn't a father yet, but I was just like, MySpace comes, and this is the whole internet day now. It's where the internet starts thriving. And I remember going on MySpace and just looking around, as I said, as you said, there's a lot of the stuff that I done was from the street, and then I took it commercialized. So whenever I got involved in something, I never just looked at it like, okay, let me just go on MySpace and look around and see my other UK peers. I was more like, oh my God, that's Dr. Dre's page. Oh my God, that's such and such. That's, you can get, and obviously I'm not as big a big star like they are, whatever. But I was like, bro, let me try and message them and see if they're gonna respond or whatever. But obviously they didn't. But what that helped me do was network. Meaning, like, I was looking on who was on their page, and then that's how I met my best friend to this day. I was looking on Dr. Dre's page, some girl commented on his page, I clicked on her page, and then my friend, and it was all one little networking bubble. And then I messaged my friend, and I was like, oh my God, he's got a tune with Beyonce and Kelly Rowland. So I was thinking he had a remix with them. I was thinking, who's this guy? This is crazy. So I messaged him, I said, do you sell beats? And he was like I said, I'm an independent artist, blah, 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 blah. Do you sell beats? And he was like, yeah, sure. I said, he goes, what's your budget? And I was like, oh, I just thought of a budget to say, and I was like, well, this much. And he was like, yeah, I can do that. And then my next problem was like, well, who's sending money to a stranger? You know, I don't know if I'm going to trust him. So I'm like, oh, but you know, faith and destiny has that one little, I'm thinking, at the end of the day, what's the worst going to happen? The worst that's going to happen is I'm going to lose £500. That's the what am I going to gain? What I'm going to gain is the connection across another side of the world that I've never had before. So I took a gamble. I ran to the Western Union, and I gave him £500, and I think that was like double bubble in them days. There's like $1,000 US, and because obviously before that I sent the money. He sent me clips, like about 20-second clips of free songs to pick from. So the one that I picked, he said, when you pay me the money, I'll send you the full length version. So when I paid him the money at Western Union, he sent me the full length version, and I was like, hey, you know, this guy. Me and him starts talking. I go away. I shoot a video for it. I put the video on Channel U. Remember Channel U days?
I do.
Yeah, Channel U. Yeah, I put the video on Channel U. I sent it to him, and I said to him, no, this is what I done with your song. He was like, oh, amazing. Okay, no problem. And then I sent him my mixtape at the time that I done to go with the video. I was like, yo, this is the mixtape that I done. I think about a month later, he called me and said, yo, I love your reggae stuff, because he didn't know I could do reggae, because the song that he sent me was a hip-hop track. So I was like, yeah, this is stuff. I'm British Jamaican. He was like, oh my God, I love this stuff. He's like to me, oh, you should come over here. So at the time, my son's mum, she was an air stewardess. She worked for British Airways. So I was getting my ID90 flights, which is, if you don't know what ID90 is, it's like the cheapest way to travel ever. You get the ultimate discount to go anywhere. So anyway, I said to him, yo, where do you live? He said, Los Angeles. I said, whoa. What, Bloods, Crips? What part? I don't, He was like, no. I'm my mum. She's out. I said, no problem. I booked a flight. Yet again, gambled. Don't know. I've never met him before. We flew all the way to Los Angeles, and I met this guy. So as I'm with him, we're working in his mum's studio. He's telling me that he has a friend. This is how I got into film. He has a friend who works in Hollywood, who is a music supervisor in Hollywood. So I was like, oh, okay. He was like, they're working on this game called The Showtime. Sony have done this game, called Showtime on PlayStation. Well, I was at PlayStation them times, but whatever it was. I was like, okay, no problem. So we made a song for that, but I didn't understand none of that world completely. I didn't know nothing about it. Okay, so I done the song. This game's come out. The song's in the game. I don't think I was playing computers at them times, so I didn't even check on it. I just remember getting paid a little change for it. So I was like, okay, cool, this is nice. Fast forwarding, me and this boy Ruanga have become really good friends. I'm at his mum's house. I'm coming back and forth to London to LA, just writing trips. My son's born. I'm back, I'm going back and forth to LA. We become really good friends. Then out of nowhere, he said to me, oh, just letting you know, this is when, like, further down the line, I'm letting you know there's the Universal have used one of our songs that we've done in a movie. So I said, oh, okay, no problem. He goes, I'll send the contract and stuff over afterwards. I said, all right, no problem. What's the name of the movie? He's gone, Ted. And I'm like, Ted? I was like, what the hell's Ted? He was like, just some guy with a teddy bear. So I was like, oh, okay, a guy with it. I didn't think nothing of it. A guy with a teddy bear. Didn't care. So I'm minding my business. I think, I don't know, a couple months later, driving down the motorway, and I'm on the A12, and I'm seeing this massive poster with Mark Wahlberg and the teddy bear.
That's nuts.
hold on a minute. I thought what my boy was telling me. That's what the song's in. So he was like, so obviously I called him. I'm like, yo, I've seen the poster. He goes, yeah, the contract's over. This is it. We got the scene in the movie. You're in. And that was my first real big, massive placement for Sync. And yeah, it was lucrative. It was crazy. I was trying to, it was too late as well. I didn't get a chance to do no video or run to radio over here and say, I've got a song in a massive movie. It went to like #1 in the Billboard office. It sold like free mad money. I would say billion, but I'd say over millions. It was in the millions, definitely.
Wow.
And yeah, I still get checks from that to this day, to be fair.
Well, good, as you should.
Yeah. So that was just my first one though. That opened up a whole bag of worms. I didn't understand that world until that movie came out.
Yeah.
And then the rest is history. Like
and is that how you got into Sync? Can you tell us a bit more about how you set up the bird call?
And what is the bird call as well? Tell us a little bit about what the bird call actually is.
And he's my best friend. He's best man at my wedding, etc. like that. So what's happened is I just take care of the bird call stuff in the UK. That's all over in the UK. Like I done Target, had Grandkids. I've got like loads of songs in that movie there.
Okay.
We do a lot of other placements as well. We look for artists to do a lot of songwriting in this country, and work for to put in songs in movies and stuff like that. Like right now, my Ruanga and Jordan Peele are, like, he took it to Jordan Peele. We're pitching stuff for a new Jordan Peele movie that's coming out. We pitched stuff for Transformers just gone.
Nice. And this is with your
constantly.
Yeah, this is with your Sync library. So
this is with my Sync company. Yeah, this is with Burkle.
This is with the Burkle. So I'm gonna go back a few minutes because one of our attendees, Sharon, asked a question about 10 minutes ago.
Go for it.
So she was
Hi, Sharon. I know I can't see you or you can't hear me live and direct, but I just want you to know that I'm fully locked in. Big up yourself, Sharon. You know what I'm saying?
She's gonna appreciate that so much. So Sharon was asking, are influencers able to use commercial music, or does like Instagram have a deal with music companies? How does the bird call get in on that market?
So influencers, it depends. I know there was an issue with TikTok with how a lot of influencers was getting banned and stuff like that. Instagram's not as bad. I think you get a certain amount of up to a minute or so. I think it's up to a minute or something like that before 59 seconds before you get like copyrighted, and they'll just lock you up. Like they'll take the bit out, you can't use it. So that issue that's the label too line to a label. With us lot, we've already got songs in the movie, so we own the rights. But to be fair, sometimes when we do songs in certain songs in movies, they buy you outright, so we won't get no back end. So they'll just give us that upfront fee and be like, right, that's it. We own all the masters, and that's it.
And as for and as an artist, that's up to if they're putting their stuff on your library for Sync. I guess that's up to them. And then for most of our attendees, obviously they work from the other side where they have content and they want Sync music. So is that just something they can deal with you on a case by case basis for bigger projects?
Yeah, if there's any people that are doing like movies, projects, or anything, we don't just do it for massive, like big companies like Universal, Sony, and all the film companies. We bespoke, so we will customize to whatever, from the smallest of projects to the biggest of biggest. It doesn't really matter. We are independent. We do a lot of bespoke stuff, and our stuff is A-level quality, because I don't only just work with me and Ruanga. We work with a lot of like songwriters that write for Rihanna, Chris Brown, and all the people all over the place. So we are working with a lot of A-list people anyway. So yeah, that's why a lot of things happen for us.
Well, that's brilliant. And one of our attendees, Kalfoum, has asked, she'd love to know how you approach composers before developing your projects, so you can figure out your sound as like a filmmaker.
Sometimes, how do I approach them? Well, 9 times out of 10, because of me, I'm Max. A lot of people know who I am, so I could DM somebody and be like, "Oh, I love your music," or it's somebody I already know of. I know a lot of people in the industry already, so it's quite easy to get hold of musicians. But yeah, 9 times out of 10, if there's someone, if I've got my eyes and ears open, I'll message them.
Yeah.
This is what we do. This is my company. This is what we're about.
And for like,
I love your music.
Yeah, and I suppose from Kalfoum's point of view, they're making a piece, and they are using the bird call, and they hear some music they love, but they want more from that composer. Is that something you can set up for them? Can you get us
Say
in
that again.
touch with?
Rephrase that question again. Sorry.
So-
I got it stored. I'm gonna ask you properly. Go on.
Yeah. So like Film's got a project, and she finds some sync music on the Bird Call that she really likes, but she wants to work with that person directly who made that sync. Can you set up those meetings for us?
So if they take something from our library, there will be no details of that. If you wanted to work with that particular person, you're gonna have to do your own due diligence and find that person to work with. 9 times out of 10, these main songwriters and all these people that we work with, they're working their own bubbles. They're not just out there advertising. They're gonna work with just anyone. Like, you have to be in the clique kind of thing. Like, so like, Kez is one guy that raps for Chris Brown. He wrote Shooter and Chris Brown in his last album. So Kez is a really good friend of mine. So now how my boy Ruranga knows Kez, because Kez, my boy Ruranga is signed to Sow & Cole. Sow & Cole managed The Weeknd, they managed Sincere, so it's all in-house. Like, they will send the writer in, and he met him through here, and then because he likes him, because not everyone gets on with all the writers that come through. Not everyone energies always gel. So sometimes when you make a good link or good a songwriter or you gel, we continue working with each other.
That's
or
great.
Sometimes we just don't.
Yeah. So director Avril Evans has asked whether you have a music library that you can share. I can answer that one.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we're talking about it. It's called the Bird Call.
We're just talking. There's a music library full of 10,000 songs. I mean, we don't just give it out to anyone that can have it. But if you follow us, Bird Call 7 on Instagram, the Bird Call 7 on Instagram, and DM that goes straight to me or Ruwanga. Say you want to use the library or something like that, man will check you out, and then it goes from there.
And do you have sorry, I'm just typing that in so that everyone can follow you on Instagram now. And do you have a like a blanket agreement with broadcasters that goes with that?
Yeah, we work it, as I said, it's bespoke. So we work it to the person, what they got going on, what the project's about, and then go from there. Like, if they might not be able to afford certain songs, because we don't want everyone, say for instance, that director's come to us and said, yo, we've sorted out a deal. That deal is just bespoke to you. It ain't a deal that's going to be for all these other directors. So it's a personal agreement.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not just for everyone. We want to help as much people as possible and have as much songs in as lot of short films to movies to whatever documentaries. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So
because it's helping us, isn't it? And I think that's why we were so keen to have you here to talk about the Bird Call, because it's not like other, you get so many other music libraries where it's just, you pay your money and then you get 30 seconds and there's it's completely faceless. It's nice to have this connection.
You put up £500, I'll make sure there's something there for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter. Because you know what it is? We are musicians, and it's not just, we got that. It's because, we've been having it for years and stuff like that. But we are workaholics. We are high level. We have other producers, other artists. We got, 10,000 songs over a certain amount of time.
Oh, hang on. We just lost him. Let me try again. Oh, dear.
We've lost him again, but it's been really interesting to hear. Oh, are we going back?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Wonderful.
Let me just share my screen again.
Sorry.
No, not at all. That's how technology works. Here we go. We're back in action. Okay, all right. So thank you for coming back. Sorry you lost connection there.
Yeah, sorry, I just went for a black spot, and I'm back now.
So we've got a question from Paula, who's a publicist and also a writer. She was in the BBC Writers' Room for 2018. She said she's loving the story of your rise, and thank you for sharing your story. Has your life story been turned into a drama script yet?
Tell her I have a script right now, but it's rubbish. I'm going to be honest. It's absolutely rubbish. I got this guy to do it. I hope he's not even in the group talk, because let me not speak too much. But I got a script, and I'm working on one. And I'll be honest with you, that is like my ultimate dream to do my life story. Reason being, not because my story is better than anyone else's. I just believe that it's going to be an inspiring one. Because if you knew exactly what kind of badness and behavior from the pavement I've come from, the way literally, like, darkest journey, as in like my mindset and where I was, I can then explain to everybody how I transferred, what transferred me, why people's mindsets that are come from the ghetto are like way they are, and how you can use all those ghetto skills that you learn in the street is to transfer it into the legal world, into the to be an upstanding citizen, and to be to change your life. And I feel like I have the story and the right tools and information to do that, but no one's gonna just put a leg out like that, so I have to kind of do it myself. So something that is a dream of mine, and I have a lot of resources to say, yeah, just go and do it now. But to be honest, I'm busy. But if someone is downright serious to make this story come to life, you better believe I put my heart and soul into it.
All right, well, we'll get you in touch with Paula then. We'll make sure that you two make a connection.
Well, there you go.
Because I'd like to see that too, Paula. I agree with you.
So what took? Tell Paula, do that after this group thing. We can connect. Just follow me, official Maxwell D on Instagram, and if I'm up to talking to anyone. So that's cool.
That is perfect. That's perfect. Oh gosh, we've now got. It's not just Paula. It's not just Paula. There's about 4 people. Okay, so everyone, we're going to get you in touch with Maxwell.
All of you contact me. I love all of you. Send it. I love you. Send. Come on, please. I'm networking king. Yeah. So let's do this, guys. I want serious people that really believe in their craft, that are really passionate about making a certain art that can bring a message. Not just like, oh, let's just make loads of money and just sell this story. No, I want a message. I need to, I'm here for a purpose. My life is not just about me. It's about helping other people. Whose life can I change? That's my legacy. That's what I want my legacy to be like. When I spoke to someone, or I touched someone, or I helped someone, it changed their life. And that's what I'm about. Yeah. It's not just about me.
That's
my journey is not about me.
And we've got another question from Catherine. From Catherine. She wants to.
Yes.
She's just sort of like following up about like using the space. Does the bird call also do like diegetic sound, like Foley vocals, environmental sound? Not so much
we got
instrumental.
composers that do string intros, crazy stuff. Like Jordan Peele's got this horror movie, this new movie coming out. What's the name of it? I'll give you the name in a minute. The name's gonna come out, and we're working on some stuff now. Literally all like weird, like Our House and Get Out. Yeah. So we're working on some score music like that, but it's like real horror thing like that. It's got loads of strings. So sometimes we might bring certain people in, live people, to come and create that atmosphere. So we do all of that. Yeah.
So, but I mean more for like, so like say we've got like somebody opening a door and we want like the door to squeak. Do you do those kinds of sounds, like almost like effects?
Yeah, there's bits and pieces like that. I wouldn't say just that. Whenever you go in there, you're gonna see a door open. No, that's something you might find in Logic, like literally those music programs and stuff like that. But we ain't gonna just have a pile of sound effects. No, that's sound effects.
That's fair enough. And so I suppose it's difficult because Catherine can't ask the question themselves. But
bless them.
With the sound, Catherine, I'm assuming what you're looking for is like mainly Foley vocals and experimental sound, as an instrumental, so something really experimental, really out there. I mean, if you know the people, that's you'll hook them up, won't you?
Lily, can I say, with Maxwell, does he tend to work with it sounds like he's working with global majority composers and artists. He did a podcast recently.
Things I'll be like, all right, okay, cool, let me speak to this person and get you what you need.
Yeah. Well, this has been amazing. What a whirlwind tour. Thank you so much. I'm just going to crane my ear to my laptop to get Simone's message to you. What's up, Simone?
Sorry, I was just asking. It wasn't more a message. I was just asking. It sounds like his library is made up by kind of quite a few global majority producers and artists. We've done previous podcasts where we've talked about music and is that part of his mission to kind of bring new kind of content or musicians to the content space so that we can kind of shake it up a bit? Does he think about the kind of content producers he's using?
Okay, so sorry, I'm just it must be it's actually quite embarrassing. Everyone can see me on screen pushing my ears forward. So Simone's asking, because we did a podcast episode in our first season about sync music and how you can make money that way, creating sync music for sync libraries and stuff. And obviously that's what the Bird Call is a sync library. So we care, obviously at the TVC, we care very much about like inclusion and equity. Do you find, and we like to find the new people, the people doing their own stuff, is that something that you're doing as well with the Burkle? Are you out there finding the new people, finding people who are mixing it up, changing the game?
Absolutely. That's what I am. I'm A&R. I'm out there scouting galore for loads of different things, talent, music, musicians, directors, whatever, anything to do with music and film. I'm looking for, no matter what it is. If you got talent in that field, then we need to talk.
Yeah, and that's perfect. So next time you're on a laptop, please log into the festival so we can get people, because you're probably going to get a lot of messages from our attendees.
Can I just ask one more thing? How do people? Can I ask
another day or time? I can even talk to my brother Ruwanga and get the go on with both of us on together. He would love stuff like this, because now, you know what I mean, and that would be. He could give you so much more
that would be
than
great.
I could give you.
All right, we'll get you both. We'll get you both on the festival to get your DMs. Simone's got another question.
Just lastly, as we're content producers, everybody here in this group are content producers, and most are kind of seasoned, grown-up content producers making content for Netflix, BBC, and alike. If people want to access your music library, how do they do that? And can we put it in our resources so that people can get in contact with you? Please?
Okay, so people are asking how they can like directly access the Burkle. So is the best way to follow you on Instagram and DM you?
Follow us on Instagram and DM, yeah. And then that way, what will happen? Me and Rue will be like, I'll be like, right, Rue, these are the people that I just spoke to in the group, and he'll be like, okay, no problem, and I'll be like, yeah, they're directors, they're blah blah blah, or they're XYZ, and he'll be like, okay, cool, and then we'll check, we'll just have a little check to make sure we know what we're doing, to send into, and then we'll send you the link ourselves. Yeah. So you could access the library and have a look at the library itself. We've got, as I said, tons and tons, over 10,000 songs of all different genres, like literally in there. Yeah. We're literally before you called and before to say that I was on live, me and Rue was just talking about Christmas songs. We literally got a pile of Christmas stuff we're working on. So
all right, so if you've made a Christmas film in time for this Christmas, you best get onto the Burkle. So what I'll do for resources, everybody, is I will make sure you've got a link to the Instagram page for the Burkle 7, so that you can just link directly to it, and then you can DM Maxwell from there. Maxwell will also be online when he gets back to his laptop. He'll be online, and because do check your DMs on the TVC Live Festival app, Maxwell, because you're going to have a lot of them.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll log in and everything, and I'll be doing that tonight. As soon as I get in, I'll go on my laptop and I'll have a look at all the stuff. If there's any messages there for me, I will respond. And if this is something that you guys are really, really, really interested in, I could set up more of these, like with other directors, with other people that do syncing and licensing as well. So let's go.
That would be amazing. We'll definitely call you about that. Thank you so much for today, Maxwell. You're getting a lot of love hearts, a lot of thank yous from everybody.
I apologize to everybody that I didn't do it the formal way and the right way. I'm so sorry, but trust me, I really wanted to be on it as much as you guys did. So even the fact that I got to do this and I didn't get to hear your actual voices or see your faces, just know that I'm genuinely here with you. And please do not hesitate to hit me up and let's network.
Thank you so much, Maxwell. Okay, be safe on your journey home.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Take care, everybody.
You too, Dave.
Thank you.
Bye.
And thank you, Lily. That was amazing. Did an amazing job in the circumstances.